starting even before the 4th century, given its name by early Christians, paganism. Now, many of you might be wondering, what is paganism? Paganism is a religion that wasn't really practiced before the 21st century, which is now being mainly focused on by young adults and teenagers today. Now, as we get into everything, we will be going over how paganism started, how paganism modernized for the 21st century, and what is included with practicing paganism. Now, as we cast a time spell, we will be going over how paganism started. According to BBC, paganism started because of the fact that people of Europe became more aware, which was during the Renaissance era in like the 1500s. Soon following that was a Reformation in the 1600s, which transformed England from a Catholic to a Protestant, which created persecution of people who are known as witches. As the 19th century as we begin to move into the 19th century, we will realize that people from like England and from different parts of the country started to rediscover their ancestors' ties to like paganism in different religions around the world. And during that, they discovered different religions and different times. This mostly happened in Lithuania, and as the nationalist movement spread, became the modernization of paganism. Now, given today's, most people use the word neo-paganism, which some pagans are okay with using that word, but some think it's really offensive because of the fact that it's like tearing away their ties to their ancestors who had practiced and So with the modernization of paganism comes the different forms of where you can find it. So there's a lot of paganism being taught in the US currently, either by like TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat. There's groups and communities who come together and like teach each other if like you're interested. According to GCI, or Grace Communication Internationalists, for paganism, pagans, and pagan customs, it just explains like how pagans either just brings forth like the culture of like how paganism started and and how paganism moved from like really small parts of the world to become more vastly practiced among like young adults and teenagers. Now, paganism is not what you would see in like Hocus Pocus as like the witches. Paganism isn't where you would like cast spells on people to harm them. Paganism is mostly for people who want to help. So it's where like you would cast like healing spells or like do healing incantations for people that are sick or just need someone like who are sick or just need luck in a sense. Paganism has started going up through the years from the 19th century to now. You can see on TikTok, and it's mostly with tarot card readings or story times with deities. Deities are these gods or goddesses from mythology, mostly like Norse, Greek. You work with them for like rituals to help heal, like it's to help heal your friends or just to have more of an open mind. More often than not, these rituals that pagans do are, as stated, to heal like mentally or to help heal one's guide. And with paganism, it is mostly to do with nature and animals as well. You will also see this spreading through a lot of social media. And according to the Pluralism Project, what do pagans do? Pagans might perform a wide variety of spiritual exercises on a daily basis. Though probably no two pagans practice their faith exactly the same way. Pagans personally practice can be as simple as lighting a candle on the dark of the full moon and meditating on the flame, or pouring a fresh cup of water for their ancestors and saying a prayer. So, for paganism, you can either consult tarot cards, astrology. They also use runes and pendulums. Pendulums are, I wouldn't say necklaces, but like they more often than not have a rose quartz at the end, and you ask your ancestors or deities a number of questions, and it will either, I always get these mixed up, but it's either back and forth for no or a circle for yes, or it's the other way around. And more often than not, people that practice paganism use this method to figure out if they're having a boy or a girl during pregnancies. Now that we have gone over how paganism started, how it modernized for the 21st century, and what's involved in practicing paganism, I hope you would realize that it's not like Hocus Pocus. They don't cast spells on you to harm you. And I hope you delve into this information some more if you'd like to learn about it, and to have a good day, and always carry a rose crystal with you.